Welcome back, guys. Now this is what we want to achieve in this video. We want to set up a two-way binding with our state and this form. So we want to actually get data out of this form. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna head over to our login.js, and basically we want to bind this input to the state. So let's go ahead and set out the state. I'm gonna create a constructor, and this .state is gonna be equal to an object. And what I'm gonna have here is email, which is an empty string, and I'm also gonna have password, which is by default an empty string. Oh, and since this is an inheritance, we have to call super, so that we call the parent class right here. Okay, now that we've said that, we're gonna go to our form, and the first thing I'm gonna do is for each of the inputs, I'm gonna give them a name. But first, I just want to spread these properties so that they align vertically, and that looks better. Then I'm gonna give this a name of email, and for the second input I'm gonna do exactly the same thing. It's of type password. I'm just gonna align these properties, and finally I'm gonna give it a name of password, and I'm gonna show you why I'm giving them names. So what I want to do is when this field changes, I want to match that to this state. Okay, basically a basic two-way binding with React. So I'm just gonna say on change this dot handle field change. So this is the function that will be called when the field changes, and also the same thing for the password field. So when the password field changes, we'll call the handle field change method. So for us to create that method, we need to have a binding. So we're gonna bind the value of this. So this dot handle field change dot bind, and we're gonna store this right now. So the reason why we bind this is a long explanation that I don't want to go into, but I guess you've already seen this in the React community, so go ahead and check it out if you want to understand more. But right now I'm just going to focus on creating the handle field change function, which will take in the event, and once we get the event, we're going to set the state to the new data. So right now I'm just going to get event.target.name, which is this field right here. So for example, if it was email that changed, I'm gonna get email, and if it was password that changed, I'm gonna get password, and then I'm gonna set that to be event.target.value, right? So if email changed, then I'm gonna get email, which would fill this placeholder right here, and then get the value of that event and set it. If it was password that changed, then I'm gonna get password and do exactly the same thing. Okay, so right now Webpack has completed bundling our assets. Let's go ahead to our browser, give this a good refresh, and then you can see right now that we have state in our component. We have email and password, and right now if we pass an email right here, you can see that our state is automatically updated, and if we type in a password, we also have our state updated right there. So that's great. We have a two-way binding, and our React component can keep track of what is happening in the form. But right now, if we click on login, it just refreshes with some get data right here. So what I'm gonna do right now, for the last thing in this video, I'm gonna come to this form, and I'm gonna set an onSubmit event, and I'm gonna set it to a handle form submit function on this class. And if I have to use this function and I don't want to lose the value of this, I'm gonna have to bind it. So this dot handle form submit dot bind this, and then I'm gonna create that function right now. So I'm gonna have a function handle form submit, and I'm gonna get the event on submit right here. And what I'm gonna do is event.prevent default. So I don't want the default to be executed, and the default is basically the browser submitting that form to the server. Okay, so the event has been prevented. Then I'm just gonna console.log this .state right now. Okay, so right now when we submit that form, it's gonna prevent the default, and then it's gonna just log to the console what we have in our state at the moment. So let's go ahead and refresh, and then if I write in partcoder at mail.ru, pass in a password, and then I click on this, it no longer refreshes the page. But if we go to our console right now, here we can see that data logged right there, so the email and the password. Great, so we're making some progress. We're going to talk more about our form in the very next lesson.